नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 10, Chapter 3, the birth of Lord Krishna. Text number 44. Etad vam darshitam rupam. Etad vam darshitam rupam. Prag janma smaranaya me. Bhavam jnanam martyalingena jayate. Martyalingena jayate. Etadvam darshitam rupam. Pragjanma smaranaya me. Nanyatha madbhavam jnanam martyalingena jayate. Devaki did not need to be reminded that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, had appeared as her son. She already accepted this. Nonetheless, she was anxious that if her neighbors Vishnu had appeared as her son, from himself. That she believed such are the devotees and such are the dealings between devotees and the Lord. The Lord deals with his devotees exactly like a human being. But this does not mean he is one of the human beings, for this is the concept.
निशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं। यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो। So the Lord is speaking to Devaki and Vasudeva. He has revealed himself by appearance itself as Vishnu, but he also is reminding Devaki and Vasudeva about their previous births. In two previous births, same Vishnu had appeared as their son. So this is the third time the Supreme Lord is appearing as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. And what's the reason that even though he wants to appear like a human child, he is not human being, but he wants to appear like a human child. But still, if he appeared like a ordinary human child, then it is said here by the Lord himself, if I appear like an ordinary human child, you would not believe that the Supreme Personality of God, Vishnu, has indeed appeared. Both Vasudeva and Devaki would not believe that Krishna has appeared as their son. And therefore, the Lord is telling, I have shown you this form of Vishnu just to remind you of my previous births. So, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains the position of the devotee and the position of the Lord very clearly. Prabhupada is telling, actually, even though the Lord is speaking like this, Prabhupada is telling, Devaki did not need to be reminded that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, had appeared as her son. She did not require being reminded. This reminding is required for those who become forgetful. A conditioned soul is forgetful. But a liberated soul situated in eternal devotional service to Krishna never forgets Krishna. Never forgets Krishna. Neither such a devotee will have a desire to have an ordinary human child. Why? Because Devaki and Vasudeva are situated in pure devotional service. If at all they desire a child, they'll desire only a child like Vishnu, not an ordinary human child. So, Devaki need not be reminded. Nonetheless, she was anxious. She knows the Lord has appeared as her son. But she was anxious, thinking that if her neighbors heard that Vishnu had appeared as the son, none of them would believe it. The others, other than the actual devotee, the others, they will not believe this. Devaki says, oh, the Supreme Lord appeared as my son. They will not believe. Nanyatha madbhavam jnanam martyalingena jayate. Taking birth like a human child. Martyalinga. Linga means body. And martya means that which is subject to death, or a material body, or an ordinary body. So, martyalingena jayate na anyatha madbhavam. People will not accept that Vishnu has appeared as Devaki's child. Because in the eyes of ordinary people, the pure devotee as well as the Supreme Lord, if at all they appear in a human-like form, they are ordinary people. So therefore, Devaki has got her reason why she was requesting the Lord, transform yourself into an ordinary child. And Prabhupada explains the Lord's position also. On the other hand, the Supreme Lord was also anxious, thinking that if he appeared as an ordinary child, she would not believe that Vishnu had appeared as her son. Now, earlier it is told that devotees, pure devotees, always recognize the Lord in whichever form He comes. And that's always true. Throughout the Bhagavatam we can see. But even though devotees like Vasudeva and Devaki, pure devotees, there is no possibility that they will forget Krishna at any time. But still, such pure devotees also, out of humility, they will think that we are not qualified to have the Supreme Lord as our son. We are not qualified. Though they have a desire. Desire is there. When desire is there, then obviously one works for fulfillment of the desire. But pure devotees, they may have a desire to have Krishna as their son. Not anybody else. Krishna as their son. But they don't want to ask anything from the Lord. And therefore, unless they get some indication from the Lord that this desire to have a son like Krishna or have Krishna as their son, this particular desire, they don't want any material desires for their own enjoyment. They don't want any desires which will lead to their enjoyment but not pleasing to Krishna. Pure devotee means always wants to please Krishna. And as for personal happiness, devotees don't care whether they are happy, they are unhappy, they are neutral, they don't care. Whatever be our state of existence or condition. Pure devotee's thinking is, I want to serve Krishna and Krishna should be pleased. Krishna should be happy. So, the Lord is very anxious to serve such devotees of His. This is spiritual world, spiritual atmosphere. Devotees are always eager to render service to Krishna. And Krishna is always eager to serve His devotees. For devotees to serve Krishna is very easy. Because Krishna is the only worshipable object, at least in the spiritual world. Nobody else is worshipable. So everyone worships Krishna. Everyone is a devotee of Krishna. Everyone is engaged in Krishna's service. And Krishna does accept that because devotees want to serve Him and devotees are very dear to Him. So if they have got such a desire that they want to serve Krishna, Krishna accepts it. And Krishna being the Lord, unlimited Lord, He can accept service from unlimited number of devotees. And He can accept such service unlimited length of time. Eternally He can keep on accepting. Because He is Supreme Lord, He will not become saturated. He will not become affected by receiving or by taking such service from His devotees. He will not experience any difference in Him. So this is very difficult for us to understand. That the devotees don't require any service from Krishna, but Krishna wants to serve His devotees. Krishna doesn't require any service from a devotee, but devotee wants to serve Krishna. So what is the reason? When somebody doesn't require something, if you try to give that person, so why are you forcing upon me when I don't want it? So the mood of service is that devotees take pleasure in pleasing Krishna by serving. And Krishna takes pleasure in serving his devotees and pleasing them. Therefore, eternally in the spiritual world, there is only one thing that is going on. Krishna is serving his devotees to please his devotees. Devotees are serving Krishna to please Krishna. And constantly, both of them are always immersed in pleasure, in bliss, in service, in only thinking of each other. That's all their life is. There is nothing else in the spiritual. So, it is said here by Srila Prabhupada, the Lord was thinking that if he appears as an ordinary child, then Devaki will not believe that the Supreme Lord has appeared as a child. So, the Lord is anxious to fulfill the desire of his devotee, and devotees are anxious to fulfill the desire of the Lord. So both are reciprocal. So Prabhupada says, such are the dealings between devotees and the Lord. Now also, another interesting point here, Prabhupada says, the Lord wants to deal with his devotees exactly like a human being. He doesn't want to deal with his devotees as if he is the Supreme Lord. But his dealing with the devotees like a human being doesn't make him one human being. He remains a Supreme Lord with all his qualities, with all his characteristics, with all his love, everything. So even though he may deal with his devotees like an ordinary human child, he doesn't become an ordinary human child. He remains the Lord. So the devotees, their experience of serving the Lord, even though he deals with them like an ordinary child, especially in Vrindavan, even in Mathura and Dwaraka also. Like in Dwaraka, Krishna's dealings with his queens, he wants to please his devotees, the queens. So he behaves like a henpecked husband. He is the Supreme Lord. And he is behaving like a henpecked husband. So this is bewildering. It's very difficult to understand. They don't expect, the devotees don't expect that the Lord should be, the queens don't expect that the Lord should be under my control, under my subordination. No. They have surrendered to the Lord as his servant. So then why does the Lord behave like a henpecked husband? So the secret that is to be understood in all such dealings of the Lord with his devotees, or the devotees of the Lord, is that the spiritual world is simply meant for ananda. Anandamayo abhyasat. Anandamaya means filled with ananda. Unlimited bliss. Ananda. Unlimited ananda. And that is the spiritual principle. That always both Krishna and the devotees are tasting transcendental happiness, transcendental bliss, transcendental pleasure every moment. And such pleasure is always increasing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Shikshashtaka prayer says, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. By chanting Hare Krishna and perfecting your chanting Hare Krishna, you will experience Ananda Ambudhi Vardhan. Ambudhi means ocean. So the joy or the pleasure or the bliss or the happiness of devotional service is like an ocean of happiness. And this happiness, being spiritual, such a ocean is ever increasing. Vardhanam, always increasing, ever increasing ocean of transcendental bliss. That's a spiritual experience. Whether you chant or you worship Krishna or you remember him or you glorify him by prayers or you worship him or you surrender to him, whichever way you deal with Krishna, in each of the ways, as you perform pure devotional service, you will only experience an increasing ocean of transcendental bliss. That is the nature of pure devotional service. And the opposite is this material world. What is the material world? There is no real happiness. Real happiness is spiritual happiness. There is no spiritual happiness in material dealings. And the material happiness itself, which we think is happiness, is actually suffering. It is suffering. So many examples are given in the scriptures that suffering under illusion, suffering sometimes is perceived as suffering and suffering is sometimes perceived as pleasure. Just like if somebody gets a news, someone has died. Ek accident ho gaya, somebody died. So, if the person thinks, who's the person who has died? Oh, my husband has gone out driving his car. Has he met with an accident and died in the accident? She'll be very anxious to find out. The wife will be anxious to find. Natural. So if she finds out it is her husband, it is the greatest distress, the greatest misery, greatest suffering. And she finds out not her husband, then who is that person? Not my husband. Such a relief. First thing to find out, not my husband, relief. Oh, it's not my husband. But then if it is somebody she doesn't know, oh, somebody died. She is neither happy nor she is sad. You see the difference in her reaction. Okay? And then she finds out it's her some enemy, husband's enemy has died. He deserved to die. He gave so much trouble to my husband. He deserved to die. She'll be very happy. Good riddance. He died. You see? So, in material world, the so-called pleasures are simply misery in one way or another. But this misery is sometimes perceived as misery and sometimes as happiness, and sometimes it's like neither happiness nor distress. Neutral. So everything is like that. It is always in relationship with me. That incident is viewed as happiness or distress, or neither happiness nor distress. So everything, it is a effect of the three gunas. It is under the influence of the illusory energy. The whole material world is conducted by Durga Devi. And because we want to enjoy materially, the whole arrangement exists in this fashion. So there is no real happiness, and a sense of material existence, Krishna says, is suffering. Why is it suffering? Because we are spirit and we have nothing to do with matter. And therefore, the very contact with this matter, this material body, itself is the biggest suffering. Biggest suffering. Because we are not meant to live in this material body, reside in this material body. We have got our spiritual form, and that form is completely full of bliss. It is perfect. It is complete. It is the best form or best body. But we are forced to enter this body, which may look beautiful, but the essence is, it is all obnoxious substances. What is there inside this body? Flesh and blood and mucus and bones and urine and stool and pus and all horrible things. But because there is the spiritual spark inside, and that spiritual spark doesn't have any of these qualities of blood or urine or stool. No. Spiritual spark has got spiritual, it's spiritual substance, so it has spiritual qualities. So because of that, the body still appears to be not so bad. Essentially, the body is all horrible stuff. So therefore, what happens? We have experience. The person is living. We say a living body means the soul is inside. The soul. We disregard that the body is some material substance, and we take interest in that body, understanding that the body is actually the person. So our interest is in the person. But moment the soul leaves the body, which happens at death, then where is the interest in that body? You tell me. Then we only see, oh, the body is smelling bad. The body is, decomposing. The body cannot be maintained anymore. So immediately discard the body. Either bury it or burn it or do something. So, we know that the essence of this actual body, material body, is all miserable, misery. But because of illusion, because we have a strong desire to enjoy materially, independently, therefore this elaborate arrangement by Krishna. So as soon as we realize, I am spirit soul, I belong to Krishna, I don't belong to this world, I have no need for this body. I have entered this body under a illusion that I can enjoy independently materially. So you give up this wrong understanding, immediately you are in your spiritual position. Immediately you become Krishna conscious. When you understand this essential fact and realize it, then you are not bothered about this body because you have everything to do with Krishna. Everything to do with Krishna. So, the solution to this problem of this body, material existence, misery, suffering, illusion, is simply to become Krishna conscious. That's it. Simply to become Krishna conscious. And very easy to become Krishna conscious in this age by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. That you chant the holy name of Krishna in the form of this Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And also supplement this chanting because it takes some time for developing taste for chanting Hare Krishna. The holy name is full of transcendental bliss. But in the beginning, just like a jaundice patient cannot taste sugar candy as very sweet. Sugar candy is actually sweet. But in the diseased condition, jaundice condition, sugar candy will taste very bitter. But still, if the person wants to get free from jaundice, sugar candy is the best medicine. So, understanding that because of this jaundice, I am tasting sugar candy as bitter, and because of this disease, I am suffering in so many other ways also. So let me get cured of this disease. And the cure is simplest cure or the direct cure or the straightforward cure is take sugar candy even if it is bitter. Understanding that it will act as medicine in the beginning. So after one is cured of jaundice, the same sugar candy will taste very, very sweet. This is the example given by Sri Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Instruction, Upadeshamrita. That you chant Hare Krishna even if you don't taste that spiritual bliss in the beginning. Doesn't matter, you chant Hare Krishna. And then this Bhava Roga will get cured because this chanting Hare Krishna is called Bhavaushadhi. It acts like a medicine for this Bhava Roga. And then when it is cured, you will taste the same chanting of Hare Krishna, the same mantra, the same chanting, the same tongue. Right? When a jaundice person gets cured, there's no need to change the tongue. There's no need to change the sugar candy. Sugar candy is the same, tongue is the same, person is the same. But the person was in a diseased condition. Now the person has got cured of the diseased condition, has come to the healthy condition. Similarly, as spirit soul, we are the same. But in the conditioned state, we are diseased. Diseased condition. Conditioned state means diseased condition. And we have to take this medicine, Bhavaushadhi, Hare Krishna mantra. And even if it tastes bitter, please chant. But then, to help you somehow make you chant Hare Krishna so that you take the medicine and become cured, the acharyas are giving us expert guidance. Just like the mother, the example is given in scriptures, will mix the bitter medicine, which is actually the cure, with sweet honey and then give the child. So the child will not normally take bitter medicine, but the bitter medicine with honey, when mother gives, the honey is very sweet. So like that, we are not being given only the holy name, which in the beginning tastes like bitter, but we are also given a nice prasadam. So that prasadam we can easily taste, very nice. So along with, just like the mother mixes the bitter medicine into honey and then feeds the child, we should also take this chanting of Hare Krishna with the prasadam. That's why the tongue is given with two functions. Tongue you vibrate and chant Hare Krishna, and the tongue you also taste nice Krishna Prasad. So both ways you actually utilize the tongue, and very quickly this Hare Krishna mantra will act. If you also take prasadam and chant Hare Krishna, and then to engage your body, your mind, your words, because your nature is to be always active. So some activity you have to be doing. You can't be inactive. As spirit soul, you cannot be inactive. So how to fill the day with activities which will only help you to increase your chanting and hearing, your bhakti. So many other activities are given to us. Associate with devotees, you sing, you dance, you worship, you offer food and take prasadam, you serve the Lord in so many different ways. So 64 different activities of sadhana bhakti, of which the most important is this engagement of the tongue in chanting Hare Krishna, either as japa or kirtana, and in tasting Krishna Prasad. These two are the topmost and the most important. Even if you can't do anything else, please make sure you do these two things at least. And that's the beginning. That's why in our temples, anybody comes, there is some prasadam and there is kirtan or japa, Hare Krishna japa. That's why Prabhupada made the system. Actually, every arati there is Hare Krishna kirtan. Actually, during the arati, the pujari is offering different upacharas, different items, incense and lamp and flowers, arghya, water. There are specific mantras for that offering. But Prabhupada says, no, don't chant those mantras. Instead, there should be Hare Krishna Kirtan. So this Hare Krishna Kirtan is making it more easily palatable. Even chanting those mantras for worshipping Krishna is also effective. But not many people will take interest in that or understand that or immediately get interested in such things. But melodious singing of Hare Krishna immediately attracts. Music attracts. It is very pleasing for the ears. Music is very pleasing for the ears. So, musically, chant Hare Krishna instead of chanting those mantras for doing the arati. So, always arati means Hare Krishna Kirtan, accompanied by Hare Krishna. So like this, the Acharyas have expertly given us the process of sadhana bhakti. This is the treatment for the disease condition, and very quickly we can come out of this disease condition, become Krishna conscious. So I'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.